Characters, optional, big spoilers. You are listening at famvetv.info. This is a compendium of all characters in the story. There might be some missing, but I make sure to add them around as they appear. Veronica. Our main protagonist, she had 2 awful lives before reincarnating as a living armor, and she is dead set on having a relaxing and carefree third life, but many things will get in her way, and after knowing that her soul was split in 2 and her other part was reincarnated separately, she starts a journey to meet with her split soul, in her first life. She used to be a secretary in a printing business and worked very hard every day. She had given up in her dreams of having a husband and a family and liked to read web novels and light novels, alongside playing gotcha games to pass the time. She had a black cat named Kuro that kept her company and brought her small doses of joy. A fateful day she was invited by her co-workers to a party after work, and as her dreams of having friends and meeting a good man finally blossomed once again in her heart, she was killed by a car accident, and to top it all, the mysterious driver also killed all her co-workers and some of the workers of the restaurant. In her second life, she was reincarnated in the world of Critias as the weakest demon queen. Anastasia. Daughter of the deceased demon king and an elven princess, she developed her abilities as much as she could to survive one day the last war between the 2 factions of gods in this world. However, no matter how hard she tried, she was too weak and talentless, only managing to damage the heroes a bit before her downfall by the hands of the god of light himself, who split her soul in half. In her third life, she was reincarnated as a living armor in the middle of a deadly dungeon filled with terrifying metal-eating monsters. Meanwhile, her other soul half become a half-demon boy. She uses her wits to overcome the trials thrown at her while growing stronger through them. By using the unexpected cheat of her memory retention and appraisal skills, she can relearn her previous life skills and adapt to the situations and dangers. Shade. A light attribute spirit that befriended Veronica when she relearned spirit magic in the dungeon. He was at first very grumpy, and did not like to talk with Veronica, but after some fights, he grew fond of her and her charismatic personality, opening more. He slowly became the complete opposite of his former self, being very talkative. He also develops a strong bond with Veronica, and desires to help her reach her goals. He had the personality of a disinterested old man at first, but he slowly became friendlier and saw Veronica as something close to family, while Aqua became something like his daughter. He has a composed demeanor and often helps Veronica understand things or explain her things that she did not know. He is interested in her past, but does not want to force her to spit everything. He feels a bit responsible of Veronica, and often acts as a voice of reason. Though it is not like Veronica needs one. Aqua. A blue slime who was born in the dungeon where Veronica reincarnated. She was particularly sneaky when she met with Veronica at first. And she possessed both the stealth and camouflage skills, which she used to always catch Veronica by surprise and put her in danger. After being surrounded by armored centipedes, she and Veronica were forced to work together and survive. After the fight, she evolved and willingly become her tamed monster. She shows a growing intelligence and adapts incredibly quickly to the situations. She has great talent in copying what Veronica does, to the point of learning unarmed fighting and shield techniques by imitating her tamer and using her armor body parts to fight. Of course, with Veronica's permission. She is playful, cute, and strong, and overall, the best slime pet you could ever ask for. Sylphid, young wind spirit, Charlotte. Originally a rank 2 lesser armored spider with an underdeveloped leg and a 9th eye. She had a smaller size than normal armored spiders and is fairly weaker. Veronica tamed her after helping her hatch from the only egg that had not hatched yet from all the eggs produced by the Spider Queen amidst their fight. Nidhogg. Originally a rank 3. Venomous earthworm tamed in the earthworm hive. It was named after a legendary serpentine dragon, and it's slowly evolving towards that. It has a gentle nature and likes to compete against Ivy, who he had forged a rivalry. Q. Originally a rank 1 demon rat tamed by Veronica in the forest, it was the last of its family, which was expelled from its underground territory by a large family of horned rabbits. After being tamed and fed by Veronica, it became her tamed monster. After ranking to rank 4, it gained electricity powers. Pikachu. Urvas. Known as %34N, a provisional name given to him by the samsara system. Urvas was originally Veronica, but after she had her soul split into two by the god of light divine authority, he was identified as a different soul, given a provisional name, and reincarnated alongside Veronica. He inherits most of Veronica's knowledge and experiences, and it still thinks that it is Veronica on its mind. He had quickly figured that her split soul might have been reincarnated separately as well. He was reincarnated as a half-demon boy, whose mother was a demon of an extinct subspecies capable of summoning otherworldly creatures. His father is a normal human who fell in love with his mother even if she was a demon. Due to certain circumstances, his mother disappeared, leaving him for his father to raise. Due to being a half-demon, it was naturally strong and did not need his mother's milk, being capable of digesting meat paste at a young age for nourishment. He inherits the samsara system and all of its functions and slowly regains the skills of his previous life, Gaia. A young life attribute spirit that befriended Urvas when he relearned spirit magic. She has brave personality, but it's very underdeveloped because she is still a baby in spirit terms. Though she is growing more as she feeds on Urva's large mana pool, she is adorable and always willing to help Urvas, seeing him as her older brother. While seeing Jason as her father, she likes to sit over the top of his head. She helped Urvas speak with plants and slowly tame them, giving him the chance to finally kill monsters and gain experience points. Ivy, Gwendolyn Sticky Grass siblings, Ainsley Alder, Nick, Goliath. It was originally a rank 5 giant goblin that had its soul destroyed and then repaired by Urvas. Because it was too unstable, Urvas released the original soul and found a dead spirit that called himself the Steel Fist, which seemed to be a genius on unarmed fighting. Renamed as Goliath because the guy did not remember his real name, he became a rank 4 giant goblin zombie. Quickly getting used to his new undead body, he swiftly learned back unarmed fighting technique and other skills, becoming a powerful warrior and a strong meat tank with a body of over 3 meters tall. He has a lively and youthful personality, likes to fight, to drink alcohol, to hunt and to sleep. He has become a loyal guardian for Urvas and Veronica, and Jason seems to fear that he might steal his job as a father if he lowers his guard and does not improve on his strength in time. Osgoth. The most talented gazer born specifically to lead his siblings in an army against the raccoon tribes, with the mission of capturing the people in there. It possessed the evil eye of paralysis skill and was talented in various types of magic, but was barely a day old. Although he was very intelligent already, he couldn't keep against Veronica and then against Aqua. Dying after having its evil eye effect bounced back through Veronica's abyssal soul. After dying, his dead spirit felt attracted by Veronica's death attribute charm and she converted him into a rank 6 high gazer ghost, quickly forgetting what happened when he was alive and becoming a loyal ally of Veronica and Urvas. He's slowly gaining back the magic and other skills he had after being born, but the evil eye of paralysis is a skill that reflects the power of one's eye, so he was not able to regain it as a ghost lacking a body or an eye. Legion. Initially it was a group of gazers that fought against Urvas. After dying to his overwhelming strength, Urvas was merciful of their souls, making them into ghosts and then slowly merging them together into a giant and floating lump of large and phantasmal eyes. After adding every single gazer dead spirit into Legion with the exception of Osgoth who preferred to stay as himself to serve Veronica, it began to absorb other dead spirits that roamed around and had a compatibility with it, such as those of the orcs, goblins, kobolds and lizard men that died in the army, slowly changing into an even larger and aberrant ethereal mass of dead spirits, eyes, and tentacles. Although it is composed of many minds, they are all unified into one, who calls itself as Legion, the name given to it by Urvas. Legion is very fanatical of both Urvas and Veronica, and it is also kind and a bit innocent due to its young age. It has the tendency of assimilating dead spirits and it keeps growing relentlessly. Draconia. Originally it was the corpses of various adventurer women that were caught in Agatha's lair and died while being used as reproduction tools. Veronica's clones also rescued these corpses and with Urva's help, they maintained them at a good quality until Urvas used them to practice surgery by creating a patchwork zombie that had many different parts on its body, but it still looks like a beautiful woman if one ignores the stitches and different skin colors in each limb. It was also given wyvern wings, lizard men hands, wyvern legs, horns, an eye of a snake and a wolf, and the tail of a snake with the tip of a giant scorpion stinger. It can also breathe fire due to having the lungs of a fire salamander, produce electricity and vibrations. She is quite deadly despite her seemingly lax personality. She was named after Draconia, a dragon-kin princess from Irva's and Veronica's previous life, who resembled this zombie a bit. Jason, Irva's father, a man in his late 20s with a lot of vigor and strength, although he never developed his fighting abilities and grew as a poor farmer. One day he fell in love with a demon girl that he always visited in the woods, and as he grew attached to her, their love gave birth to Irva's. The demon girl, now a woman, gave birth to Irva's and took care of him alongside Jason, living in a small village on the outskirts of the human kingdom. However, due to the persecution of demon races, Irva's mother had to escape, leaving the young half-demon to his father's care. He has a strong body and high level in the farming skill. He also has an affinity with fire attribute magic, which Irva's did not inherit. Alexandra, Irva's mother, she was secretly the exiled heir of the demon royal family in the demon empire. Born as the last of a demon subspecies capable of summoning creatures from different worlds, she survived in the wilderness from a very young age, until she meets Jason and slowly built a friendship with the humble farmer, which turned into love as time went by. After expressing their love to each other when they reached adulthood, she became pregnant and gave birth to Irva's, Veronica's split soul reincarnation. Her son inherited her racial traits while still resembling a human. She hoped that Irva's could one day live in human society without having to worry about his heritage. She named her son like her deceased guard, who once gave his life to protect her when she was running away from the demon empire for being an impure child born from a royal family member and a commoner. After the hunt for demons raised in the human kingdom where she and Jason were living happened, she decided to run away. While leaving Irva's with her summoning grimoire, she hoped that her child would grow strong one day and come back to her. She isn't the best of mothers, but she thought that it was better for her to run away so the humans wouldn't associate her with the strange oddly pale child, gnome, young earth spirit. Allies rabbit.kin beast.people pecorina, young rabbit.kin beast.girl. Her village was attacked by crazed and berserk lizard men, and she was forced to escape the village through a different route while the rest of her family fought against the lizard men. When she went back to the village, she found it scorched, with no survivors. Because she did not find her family within the corpses, she decided to look for them around the devil forest. But because she was young and unexperienced, Pecorina ended up going in circles around her village while barely surviving by eating bugs or mushrooms. One day she came across the delicious smell of hot pot, fried meat, and freshly baked bread. Following that aroma, she encountered with Veronica and Irva's party. She has a slim and flexible body, with chocolate-colored skin, silverly white hair, long rabbit ears atop her head, a small pom-pom tail above her thin butt and in her legs, down her knees. They were covered in silverly white fur and were like the feet of rabbits, which gave her a greater speed and the ability to jump quite high. She has a clumsy personality, but it is quick to learn and develops rather fast. After hearing the comforting words of Veronica and Irva's, she quickly followed them through their strengthened follower skills. And due to this, she became a bit stronger. Pecorin, former rabbit.kin tribe chief, Pecorina's father who died as a captive on Agatha's lair, he had become a dead spirit and is thinking about what he should reincarnate into. He decided to become a living armor that also inhabited a sword and a shield alongside a full set of armor. Picanisia, Pecorina's eldest sister, who is pregnant with a half-lizard man and half-rabbit.kin hybrid. She has a kind and motherly personality, and after waking up, she became very protective of Pecorina and Irva's, Picobel, Pecorina's mother, Pecoramu, Pecorina and Picanisia little brother, Squirrel.kin beast.people Ismini, Squirrel.kin beast.woman, chief of the Squirrel.kin tribe and outstanding mage. The chief of the Squirrel.kin is a mature woman over her 60s who still has a lot of good looks due to the vitality of beast.people. She has a voluptuous and curvilinear body, with wide hips and a generous chest. She is an outstanding mage within the tribe of Squirrel.kin. Despite not having experienced a job change, she had developed her magic skills up to level 5. She had several children through her life, and is the mother of many of the members of the squirrel kin tribe. Unlike other tribes, squirrel.kin are a woman-only species, and often have mating seasons where they invite males from different tribes to mate with them for a night. However, sometimes they chose to capture men and mate with them forcefully. Amongst the males that are often invited to these mating events, they are usually rabbit.kin or the rare male ghoul. However, there are also bear.kin males and goat.kin males who come from the mountains to the south of the Devil Forest. Amelia, Ismini's daughter. A young and innocent girl and daughter of Ismini, she is nice and interested in everything related to plants due to Urva's influence. She has a talent with magic and is often nice with anyone. She needs to mature a bit more to develop her personality. Akathea, squirrel.kin and beast.kin beastman half-breed. She is a young half-breed between her squirrel.kin mother and her anonymous bear.kin father. Due to this, she developed black hair typical of the bear.kin beast.people, alongside a Herculean physical strength. However, she still had the tail of a squirrel and her legs were those of a squirrel as well. She is a young girl in her 10 years of age, but is already a talented hunter amongst the youngest girls. Using the job, changing crystal, she changed jobs to apprentice warrior in the morning, and then just recently to warrior after she gained experience by seeing Veronica slay a small group of goblins. Akathea is an intelligent young girl, and a bit scheming as well, convincing others to do her bidding through small manipulation, but nothing too severe to be considered malicious, just a bit playful and childlike. Anna, squirrel.kin blacksmith. Anna was a mature squirrel woman at her prime, having recently hit 20.5 years of age. She was ripped with muscles. Her chocolate-skinned body was always soaked in sweat due to being close to the furnace, and she had many scars across her body. She had tomboyish short brown hair and an emerald eye. Her appearance was perhaps completely different than most squirrel women in the village, as she had a strong and toned body, scars across her body, unattractive short hair, and she also had an eye patch in her left eye. One would wonder why she was crafting items if she could be hunting down monsters, changing jobs, and getting stronger. It was because in an accident where she protected a group of children that had gone to explore the Devil Forest alone, she lost her right leg and her left eye. Any prosthetic limb crafted by the tribe would often fail, and she had an awfully hard time balancing her body while fighting. Due to this, she gave up in hunting and slowly developed as a crafter. When Urvas used the job, changing crystal, to change jobs for everyone, she had the option to become a warrior, but choose to be a metalworker and then change jobs to a blacksmith. Due to her loss, she was gloomy and serious, but opened up to Veronica and slowly developed strong feelings towards her, which exploded in a sudden confession when she received a prosthetic leg that brought back all the hope she had to become a strong warrior that could protect others again. Ditoil, guard of the tribe, a tall squirrel.kin woman with a large scar across her chest, glossy chocolate-colored skin, dark-colored hair and tail and chestnut-colored eyes while wielding a long spear. She is a strong older sister for most of the young squirrel.kin girls and is in good terms with Urvas and Veronica. 3 elders. Mises, one of the elders who had a tall and slim body, with a large chest and the wide hips that had once held over dozens of children. She had silky and long chestnut-colored hair and was wearing a beautiful dress made out of flowers. She is quite serious most of the time, but after having been massaged by Urvas and brought her youth back, she is always flustered when Urvas is present, and always tries to go around talking with him, transforming a normal conversation into a discussion. She is a bit tsundere, and is the mother of many tribe members. One of Urva's future wives according to many, but not to her. Glape, another of the elders. Unlike Mises, she was petite but had an even greater chest and wider hips. She also had a small belly and plump thighs. Her chestnut-colored hair was made into many braids, and she had white tattoos across her chocolate-colored and glossy skin. Her emerald eyes held a rather strong glare, which, coupled with her slightly bigger than average eyebrows, made her look both strong and adorable. She loves to tease Mises and shamelessly practices this sport whenever there is the occasion. Adipisia, a third elder, who was medium-sized compared to Mises and Glape. She had a rather muscular figure compared to the other two, showing that she did some exercises despite her old age, and after Urva's revitalizing, she had become once again a fully fledged hunter. who is now learning from the young Anna as she was considerably rustier than her. She did not participate in the battles for obvious reasons, as elders were especially important for a tribe and could not risk their lives carelessly. She had sharp yellow eyes and short dark hair that reached her neck. Her large breasts were the third biggest between the 3 elders present, meaning that she fed at least as much milk to her children as the other 2. They were experienced mothers for many years, which made Veronica and Irva's give the elders the nicknames of ultimate MILFs due to these characteristics of them, but of course that was only kept between the 2. Raccoon.kin beast.people Rian, chief of the South Raccoon.kin tribe. The chief of the South Raccoon tribe was a man on his mid-40s with a slim physique, short brown hair, and the ears of raccoon atop his head, alongside a small raccoon tail at his back. He had a weak-looking complexion and was not at all a strong man by looks alone, but he seemed to be well versed in a few magic spells. His name was Rian and he was a respected father of 5 children. Mysticia, chief of the North Raccoon.kin tribe. The chief of the North Raccoon tribe was a woman of a similar age to Rian, but with a youthful figure and a mischievous smile. She had white skin with long brown hair decorated with many flowers. She had a beautiful figure and also had brown-colored raccoon ears atop her head and a fluffy raccoon tail atop her butt, dangling around. Unlike Rian's tribe, the North tribe of Raccoon.kin were led by a strong matriarchy where women were descendants of a strong raccoon witch that once separated from the tribe of the South, creating her own tribe to the north with her own family. Most of those that still possessed a strong bloodline from that which showcased great magic talent, but as time went on, this bloodline diluted more and more, only leaving a handful of strong combatants for the tribe to defend themselves. Nonetheless, those that could fight joined in, including the chief, named Mysticia, Benjamin. A treacherous child with a talent for mischief, was re-educated by Pecorina and then became a good friend with her, Akathea, Amelia and Irvas. Irvas was quite glad to finally have a male friend that was not an adult. Benjamin's parents, deeply worried about their son's etiquette, especially when being nearby someone like Irvas. Bear.kin beast.people Gaius, a former scout of the Bear.kin tribe that lives in the mountains to the north. He was captured by Agatha's subjects and made into a breeding slave for female kobolds, goblins and lizard men. Due to his resistance and superhuman strength, he had his limbs, teeth and tongue cut off so he could not fight nor protest back anymore. This slowly broke his spirit, until Irvas and Veronica healed his mental wounds and also recovered his teeth and tongue. Veronica then created some amazingly fitting prosthetic arms and legs for him, which he is slowly getting used to use. With the prosthetic legs equipped, he is over 2 meters tall, almost nearing 3. His spirit and confidence are slowly growing by following Irva's and Veronica's guidance. He is hoping for one day to present them his tribe. Ragdaz, Bear.kin chief, father of Gaius, Ezra, Bear.kin, Gaius' young sibling. Blood humans, for blood sisters, Lilith, blood human, half dwarf, one of the adventurers captured by Agatha's army and made into a reproduction tool. Although her memories of going through such horrors were gone, the trauma was not, and the memories of her party member being killed neither, making her grow insane, desiring death above all else. Before turning into a blood human, she had long dark-colored hair and chestnut-colored eyes, with a petite physique and a slightly chubby complexion. She seemed to be half-dwarf. After becoming a blood human, Lilith's skin slowly turned pale white and her chestnut-colored eyes became crimson red. Her canines grew like those of a vampire, her lips turned red and coquettish, and her body slowly changed more, enhancing her natural beauty, and unleashing a charming presence from her body. She is good with at wielding short swords, which she wields too while abusing her small and slim body to unleash powerful attacks. Her fascination with Irvas is strong, and she sees him as her progenitor and as a god. She originates from an orphanage like the rest of the girls and their original parties. Ishith, blood human, the tallest of the 3 girls, who had a slim figure and whose short hair that reached her neck had turned from black to blue color. She wields a spear as her main weapon, and it is learning javelin techniques from Veronica. Agrit, blood human, the smallest after Lilith of the girls, who had long brown hair made into braids that turned completely white. She used to be a priest and possess strong supportive magic of the life and light attribute. After turning into a blood human, these talents became greater, while also gaining offensive spells. Naima, blood human, the one with the shortest hair, flat chest, and small feminine features, resembling a tomboy, whose hair turned from chestnut to red. She was good with long swords and still is, but it is also developing shield technique and armor technique. Her strength greatly improved when she learned superhuman strength. Aishath, Agrit, Naima are known as the Lilith sisters alongside, well, Lilith, as the leader. Ghoul tribe Alesia, Ghoul tribe chief. Alesia had purple-colored skin, alongside bouncy and large breast alongside wide hips. On the horns of her forehead, the left one was larger than the right one, and the tip was black-colored instead of being completely purple like her skin color. She had long blue hair, made into beautiful braids that crossed all across her torso and over her simple yet beautiful dress. She had black nails and, like every ghoul, was barefoot. Alesia had a petite complexion despite her older age of 230.2 years old, as she had a child at an early age and was confined in such an appearance. Alesia had a few children through her lifespan, but she never had a husband as the culture of ghouls was rather loose in how their relationships were structured. No one were restrained with anyone, so everyone could be with anyone. However, they usually had certain cycles of reproduction where they would mate. Leonidas, strongest male ghoul and hunter. A large, 2 meters tall ghoul man with charcoal black-colored skin, burly muscles all across his body in an ugly and intimidating face, with sharp fangs and tusks poking from his upper and lower jaws. He had an entire crown of dark horns on his head, alongside short black hair, and black eyes with red pupils. He wielded a giant battle axe, and was the representation of masculinity in the entire tribe. Izquierdo Derecho. Leonidas' younger siblings, they were just as burly and strong as Leonidas. They were his right and left arm, one red and the other blue. They have prideful natures like his old brother, and both can wield fire and water attribute magic, which they combine with their magic fighting technique and unarmed fighting technique. Listen to the full novel at famvetv.info, direct link in the description.